Hello and good evening. You're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Hafiz Marzukhi. Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim is confident that ASEAN is on the brink of renewal and transformation driven by a vision of shared progress, prosperity and justice. He said this during the keynote address at the Asian Future Forum, AFF 2025, organized by Vietnam's Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
In this era of division and rivalry, ASEAN must shine as a beacon of hope, fostering a sustainable, harmonious and economically dynamic region. We often hear calls for ASEAN to strengthen and reinforce its centrality, to continue exercising its agency and strategic autonomy. However, ASEAN must always bear in mind that centrality is not a right, but a privilege that has to be earned and re-earned in the context of changing contingencies. Our centrality counts for little when there is no cohesion among member states, when we let internal differences and priorities divide us.
Prior to this, he held a meeting with his counterpart, Pham Minh Chinh, in Hanoi. This marks his first working visit to Vietnam since Malaysia assumed the ASEAN chairmanship for 2025. Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra pledges to strengthen international cooperation and effectively resolve the problem of telecom fraud crimes. The Thai government held a cabinet meeting earlier this week to further discuss measures to combat telecom fraud crimes.
At a press briefing after the meeting, Paetongtarn said the Thai government takes telecommunications fraud crimes very seriously and that the Thai government had made progress in combating such crimes and repatriating suspects. She said that Thailand will continue to strengthen cooperation and dialogue with China and Myanmar to eliminate telecom fraud crimes, adding that many Thai government departments were cooperating with telecommunications companies to cut off suspicious communications and network signals in border areas. Paetongtarn also said that she will visit a province on the border with Cambodia on Friday to assess the situation and deepen cooperation with the Cambodian government to promote joint operations against the fraudsters.
Germany and Turkey have been accepted as observer countries in the ASEAN Defence Minister Meeting or ADMM. Defence Minister Dato Sri Muhammad Khalid Nordin says both countries will hold observer status at the annual meeting until 2027. Khalid said both countries had requested to be ADMM observers in ASEAN for several years, but the bloc had not previously reached a consensus. He added that their participation would strengthen ADMM's role as an inclusive regional security framework. The ADMM retreat was attended by over 150 delegations from ASEAN member countries, along with the ASEAN Secretariat and Timor-Leste as an observer. The three-day retreat is set to conclude on Thursday. Malaysia's medical cost inflation hit 15% in 2024 and is expected to increase as the population faces an aging nation, more chronic diseases and advancements in medical technology. Now, with this in mind, how can employers ensure that the well-being of their workers remains at the forefront? Moon Kiat Ho from Mercer Marsh Benefits Malaysia shares the formula.
I need to know what is driving up the cost, the 15%. Now, if I know what is driving up the cost, then if I'm an employer, what can I control and what I cannot control, right? So like aging population, obviously, it's very, very limited what we can do. Advancement in medical sciences is something that obviously we want, and obviously we cannot control the cost surge. So that boils down to then what can I then start controlling in terms of medical costs? So where we are helping our clients is to look at the cost mitigation from that point of view, understanding from your organizations what is driving up your costs in your organizations. What illnesses are we seeing? What demographics? Where is it coming from? Is it coming from your employees at certain job levels? Is it coming from your dependents? Is it coming from outpatient? Is it coming from inpatient? So it's very important organizations start seeing where in the area is driving up costs from your side, because we know one area you are not able to control. But at least those areas you can control, then you start taking some mitigation strategies to control costs.
Besides gathering comprehensive data, Munkiat also warned of blanket solutions like cutting overall benefit plans. He suggests repositioning employee programs to focus on prevention and cultivating healthy habits to mitigate future rise in medical costs.
The last thing every organization wants to do is to cut benefits. This is seriously a taboo word, and this is something that we don't allude to as well, because we felt that benefits needs to be there, health benefits needs to be there because people do get sick. But what we want to do is obviously to look at how we look at overall healthcare benefits, to position it to more leaning towards health than leaning towards healthcare. I think that's also another area. So when we do a benefit design is how do we then start looking at trading off the benefits? Trading off is maybe I'm taking something, back from you, but I'm giving something meaningful to you. Instead of just cutting. Cutting is like I'm taking everything out from you. Trading is I'm giving you a choice. I'm giving a choice where if we take certain steps on your overall well-being, and that's usually leaning towards health, like prevention, like living better. I think is start looking at repositioning healthcare towards health, towards prevention, towards how you can pivot your benefit design towards productivity, towards increasing the awareness of well-being in your organizations.
We'll go for a short break. Stay with us.
Menggaruk kulit kepala disebabkan kelumur, masalahnya lebih mendalam. Gunalah Head & Shoulders menembusi 5 lapisan untuk membasmi kelumur dan kegatalan. Bebas kelumur sehingga 100%. Head & Shoulders diuji secara dermatologi.
Di dalam setiap berita yang dibawa, konteks amat penting. Kami sentiasa membawakan yang tergempar dan terkini. Pastikan Astro AWANI menjadi pilihan anda, tidak kira di mana sahaja anda berada.
Penyasaran subsidi diesel di Semenanjung tidak akan memberi kesan kepada harga barangan keperluan di Sabah, Sarawak dan Labuan.
660 individu berusia bawah 21 tahun di Sarawak telah diberikan kewarganegaraan.
Sarawak kini menjalinkan kerjasama dengan Bank Dunia dalam menjayakan perdagangan karbonnya.
Kali ini aku tak dapat bersama korang.
Suatu kejutan.
Itu adalah cabaran yang pertama.
Kali ini kita sangat mengisik.
Siapakah yang bertuah?
Dah Yoma, saya dah buat beg.
Destinasi baharu. Cabaran baharu.
Terima kasih.
Travel lawak projek Bapak-Bapak musim baharu mulai 7 Mac. Indahnya lain macam bersama Astro Prima dan Astro Ria.
At least 19 people have died and 20 others injured when a bus carrying a study tour group overturned while descending Puthon Hill in eastern Thailand. The incident occurred in the early hours of Wednesday when the bus carrying 49 people lost control and fell into a ditch. Thai media reported that 3 buses were travelling together on the study tour to Rayong province. The bus involved was a double-decker air-conditioned vehicle, the third in the convoy. Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra expressed her condolences to the victims' families and said an investigation was taking place, particularly into vehicle safety. Fatal road accidents are common in Thailand due to weak enforcement of vehicle safety standards and poorly maintained roads. In 2023, the Southeast Asian country ranked 9th out of 175 World Health Organization member countries for road traffic deaths. Ukraine has agreed the terms of a major minerals deal with the US. US President Donald Trump says he expects Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky to visit Washington on Friday to sign the agreement.
It could be $1 trillion deal, it could be whatever, but it's rare earths and other things. And look, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on Ukraine and Russia fighting. A war that should have never, ever happened. That's a war that would have never happened if I were president.
In return for the deal, Trump said Ukraine would receive the right to fight on. Ukraine holds vast deposits of critical elements and minerals, including lithium and titanium, as well as uranium deposits, resources valued at billions of dollars. Reports suggest that a revised version of the deal has dropped a U.S. demand to receive $500 billion in potential revenue from access to Ukrainian natural resources. However, it does not include firm security guarantees for Ukraine, a key demand from Kiev.
US President Donald Trump has announced plans to sell new gold card residency permits for $5 million each. He says sales of the new visa will begin in around 2 weeks and can be used to reduce the national deficit. The gold card would grant wealthy foreign nationals the right to live and work in the US, providing them a pathway to citizenship. Trump said all applicants for the new gold cards would undergo thorough vetting. He added that Russian oligarchs may also be eligible to purchase the visa. The gold card is expected to replace the government's existing immigrant investor visa program, which allows foreign investors to fund US projects that create jobs in exchange for the chance to apply for visas to immigrate to the US. Established by Congress in 1992, the program grants green cards to immigrants who make a minimum investment of $800,000 to $1 million in qualifying US ventures. South Korea's fertility rate rose in 2024 for the first time in 9 years, supported by an increase in marriages, preliminary data show. Now, this is a sign that the country's demographic crisis may have turned a corner.
The country's fertility rate, the average number of babies a woman is expected to have during her reproductive life, stood at 0.75 in 2024, according to Statistics Korea. In 2023, the birth rate fell for the 8th consecutive year to 0.72, the lowest in the world, from 1.24 in 2015, raising concerns over the economic shock to society from such a rapid pace. Since 2018, South Korea has been the only member of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development with a birth rate of below 1. The country has rolled out various measures to encourage young people to get married and have children after non-impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol declared a national demographic crisis and a plan to create a new ministry devoted to tackling the low birth rate.
US President Donald Trump's second term in this White House has seen significant shifts in US foreign policy, impacting global alliances. Julia Rognifat from Taylor's University discusses how Malaysia and its ASEAN counterparts are expected to navigate these evolving dynamics.
We have not supported the anti-Russian sanctions, at least not officially, even though here and there probably there were some measures enforced in support of the Western anti-Russian front. But even with the 3 years passing since the start of the conflict, we still managed not to take sides. Now, again, we're returning to the possibility of the pressure to take sides between the US and China. But that's a kind of exercise we've also been doing for long enough and managed to go within the policy that the political scientists call hedging, not siding with any particular front, relying to an extent on the United States in terms of security, and continuing pretty much lucrative trade with China.
Now that wraps up AWANI Tonight. Check out our web portal, keeping you informed on the critical events shaping our world, all in one place at international.astroawani.com. That's all for now. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi. Thanks for watching and good night.